In 2010 and 2014, Forbes crowned her the highest-paid actress in Hollywood. Sandra Bullock seemed to perfectly embody the American dream: talent, beauty, humor, and a career built with determination and grace. On the big screen, she was the ideal woman, strong yet sensitive, funny yet melancholic, capable of winning over audiences with a single smile. But behind that image of perfection lay a very different reality, a life marked by disappointments, betrayals, and the high price of fame. Sandra Annette Bullock was born on July 26, 1964, in Arlington, Virginia, into a family deeply rooted in the arts. Her father, John W. Bullock, was an American voice coach and theater manager, while her mother, Helga Matilda Meyer, was a celebrated German opera singer. Little Sandra grew up surrounded by music, voices, and the sounds of the stage. She spent much of her childhood in Germany, following her mother on tour. She lived among dressing rooms and backstage corridors, watching performers prepare, learning to respect the discipline and devotion that every artist must have. It was a nomadic but stimulating childhood. She spoke both German and English, and quickly learned to move with ease between two very different worlds. After studying acting at East Carolina University, she decided to move to New York to pursue her dream of theater. The early years were tough. She lived in small apartments, worked as a waitress to support herself, and attended acting classes at night. But her determination never faltered. After a few television roles, her career suddenly changed direction thanks to a film that would become a cult classic of the 1990s, Speed, 1994. The story of a bomb-rigged bus co-starring Keanu Reeves turned her from a young hopeful into an international star. The success was immediate: record box office numbers, worldwide fame, and the certainty that Hollywood had found its next leading lady. From then on, her career was a steady rise. In 1995, she starred in While You Were Sleeping, a sweet and clever romantic comedy that crowned her America's sweetheart. A year later, in A Time to Kill, alongside Matthew McConaughey and Samuel L. Jackson, she showed her dramatic strength, leaving her mark even in more serious roles. In 1998, she appeared in Hope Floats, portraying the vulnerability of a woman seeking a second chance. With Miss Congeniality, 2000, produced by her own company, Fortis Films, she won audiences over with a charmingly funny and unconventional character. It was a golden period. Every film was a success. Every role added a new nuance to her persona. With 2 weeks' notice, 2002, and The Proposal, 2009, both opposite charismatic co-stars, she solidified her reputation as the queen of romantic comedies. At the same time, Sandra began choosing more complex projects. With Crash, 2004, which won the Oscar for Best Picture, she tackled social themes such as racism and hypocrisy in modern society. Then came The Blind Side, 2009, the true story of Lee Ann Tuohy, a woman who adopted a homeless boy who would go on to become a football star. The film not only moved millions, but also earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress. It was the peak of a career built on intelligence, empathy, and heart. In 2013 came Gravity, directed by Alfonso Cuarón, a film that revolutionized visual and technical storytelling. For almost the entire movie, Sandra carried the emotional and narrative weight on her own. Her portrayal of an astronaut adrift in space earned her a second Oscar nomination. That same year, Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world. In 2015, she returned to comedy in a new way, voicing Scarlet Overkill in Minions and later starring in Ocean's 8, 2018, the all-female reboot of the famous franchise. Even after 25 years in the industry, her energy and charisma remained untouched. 2021 marked a new chapter with The Unforgivable, released on Netflix. A dark, powerful drama about a woman recently released from prison who tries to rebuild her life. The performance, raw and stripped of vanity, once again revealed the depth of her talent. And she hasn't stopped. Today, talk surrounds her return in the long-awaited sequel to Practical Magic, alongside Nicole Kidman. It promises to be a story of family, forgiveness, and rebirth, themes that mirror her own life. Behind the glittering career, however, lay a woman who knew pain intimately. In 2010, just months after her Oscar win, her marriage to Jesse James collapsed amid a series of infidelities. The news circled the globe, yet she responded with dignity. She sought neither attention nor pity. She simply disappeared for a while. Around the same time, she discovered that her trusted manager, Lucas R., had betrayed her, stealing and selling her private information to a network of journalists. It was a devastating double blow. But Sandra refused to be destroyed. She turned pain into strength. After the divorce, she dedicated herself completely to motherhood. In 2010, she adopted a boy named Louis, born in New Orleans, and in 2015, a girl named Layla. "I no longer need lights and applause," she declared. "My place is beside my children. That's where I truly feel safe." Motherhood changed her. From a woman of success, she became a devoted mother. Her world narrowed down to what truly mattered: love, safety, and truth. For years, she lived with photographer Brian Randall, a kind and private man who shared her love of simplicity. Their quiet, happy relationship lasted until 2023, when Brian passed away after a long battle with ALS. Once again, Sandra chose silence. No public statement, no interview, only private grief shared with her children. Today, she lives far from Los Angeles, in a home surrounded by nature. The rare times she appears in public, it's in jeans and a t-shirt, with a calm smile. She no longer seeks approval. She has found peace. "Being a mother is the most important role of my life," she once said. "There's no script, no direction, only real love." Beyond acting, Sandra Bullock is also one of Hollywood's most generous philanthropists. She has donated millions to the Red Cross and to organizations helping victims of natural disasters. After Hurricane Katrina, the Japan earthquake, and the California wildfires. She is an ambassador of quiet compassion. She acts without seeking applause. Throughout her career, she has received over 50 international awards and has been named multiple times among the 100 most influential women in the world. But what truly sets her apart is not the number of accolades. It's her authenticity. Sandra Bullock has lived through success and failure, glory and loneliness, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more real. Her cinematic journey mirrors her personal one. The roles she chooses always reflect a part of herself. In Speed, the adrenaline and courage of youth. In The Blind Side, motherhood and protection. In Gravity, solitude and rebirth. In The Unforgivable, guilt and redemption. Each film is a fragment of her life, a veiled confession told through art. Today, while many chase visibility at any cost, she has chosen invisibility as a form of freedom. She hasn't stopped shining, she's simply changed the sky under which she does it. In the quiet of her home, among the laughter of her children and the light of the morning, she lives her truest story, that of a woman who, after losing everything, found herself again. And perhaps that is her greatest lesson. True strength doesn't lie in always staying under the spotlight, but in knowing when to turn it off. Sandra Bullock is not just a Hollywood star. She is a woman who has turned fragility into power, pain into grace, and silence into freedom. There is something deeply human in Sandra Bullock's journey. Her story is not just that of a successful actress, but of a woman who learned to turn pain into art and vulnerability into strength. In a world that glorifies perfection, Sandra has shown that true greatness is born from imperfection, from the courage to fall and the will to begin again. She became a symbol not because she never failed, but because she did, in front of the whole world, without losing her dignity. She has laughed at herself, cried in silence, loved without display, and helped without seeking recognition. In an age where fame is measured in clicks and visibility, she chose the opposite path: quiet, simplicity, and truth. Sandra Bullock is more than just a face of cinema. She is a presence, a voice reminding us that it's possible to stay authentic even when everything around you becomes artificial. Her performances, from the lightest comedies to the most intense dramas, speak of humanity, of real women unafraid to show their scars. Today, her name doesn't shine only in Hollywood lights, but in the hearts of those who see themselves in her. Because Sandra doesn't just represent success, she represents resilience, the ability to survive the storm and smile again when the world becomes too heavy. Her strength doesn't lie in awards, roles, or box office numbers, but in that daily, silent act of gratitude with which she continues to live her life. Sandra Bullock reminds us that the real victory isn't winning an Oscar, but being able to look in the mirror and say, "Despite everything, I'm still here, and I'm still myself." And perhaps in that fragile balance between light and shadow lies her greatest magic. She no longer needs the noise of success to be recognized, only the silence that surrounds those who have finally found peace.